Hello, we are live. It's Helen here from HelenMartinOnline.com. I am awake, although I've got my little night beanie on and my Zeds happening. Somewhere in the world, somebody's sleeping. I am on the other end of the earth here in Australia. But it's pretty cool, isn't it? Still going through these Facebook filters. They're never ending. But I'm not sure if you can hear the music as well, but we might just get rid of that into something different maybe. Actually, how do I turn it off? There we go. There we go. How are you? Get back to normal. There we go. So, welcome. What I want to talk to you about today is about prospecting. My dad's in the garden. You might see him walking around in a minute in the garden. Predominantly what I do is help home-based business owners bring their business online. Now, what I teach is a lot about social media branding, how to get leads online, automating that process, getting targeted leads. Hey, Tamara, how are you? Great to see you here. Getting targeted leads, automating some of that process. So the only people that you are talking to are people that want to talk to you first. Ideally, that's the best way to do it. I do appreciate, though, that some people still want to prospect online and do, more traditional ways of prospecting online. So that's what I want to cover today, to give you some strategies to find some more people using Facebook, but still doing it in the right way. So a lot of people are using Facebook to find prospects, but they're still being really spammy about it. They're still putting pictures out about their products or whatever, or they hound people. So they make a new friend and just pounce on them sort of straight away. So I want to give you some things to think about regarding prospecting through Facebook, which is a completely free strategy, but still doing it the right way. So hopefully those of you that are in MLM, network marketing, direct sales will find this useful today. Before I get into that, if anyone is on with me live, Tamara is, I can see you there. Just say hello, tell me where you're coming in from. If you're catching the replay later, just put down the word replay so I can go and say hello to you later. So prospecting, let's talk about prospecting. There's three things, and you might want to write these down so you remember them. There's three things that I want you to think about when you're sort of processing, how do I prospect online? So you want to make some more friends, you want to create some new relationships, you want to start building, a database of more people that you can sort of interact with. So the three questions I want you to ask yourself is, what are your passions? So what are you into? What do you enjoy? What do you like? Is it health? Is it fitness? Is it cooking? Is it horses? Is it reading? Is it fishing? Is it, anything at all? What are you passionate about? Sort of outside your business. What are the things that really light you up? So have a list of those. What are your passions? Second thing is, what does your company represent? So if you've got like a natural health product, the health and wellness space. If you've got a skincare product, it'd be skincare. Travel product, travel, insurance, real estate, what is it that the products in your business represent? So you want, to write that down. So that's number 2. Number 3, who are some of the public figures that fit into number 1 and number 2? So what I mean by that is, what are your passions? And network marketing might even be one of those passions. So you would choose people like, Eric Worre and Ray Higdon and Sarah Robbins and, public figures, like that. Hey, Mary, how are you? Lovely to see you on live. I can actually see your comments today, which is very helpful. So who are the public figures that, represent what you're interested in? So, if you're into network marketing and you want to build your business, then profile figures like Eric Worre and Ray Higdon and Sarah Robbins, etc., would be those public figures. So write that down. Other public figures that would fit, your passions or what your company represents. So let's say it is health and wellness, which could be fitness and, all things healthy. So that might be, someone like Jillian Michaels, somebody like that. So write down a list of all those things. What are your passions? What does your company represent? And who are the public figures that fit that sort of space? then this is where you go looking. So where this fits in as well, if you want to build your business online, this is the way that you can find new friends and new, hey Courtney, lovely to see you on live. Hope you're well. So this is a strategy for you to find more friends, find more people, etc. But if you're building your business online, sort of the way I teach and the way I do it, with leveraging the internet to find pre-qualified leads, and automating that process to get leads to you every day. If you're interested in that process, after the live, I'll put some free training down below in the comments section. So you can, if you are looking for an alternative way, you can get access to that free training about, how do you leverage the internet to find pre-qualified leads and get them to come to you. So you can learn a little bit more about that. I'll put that in the comments section after. But if you're doing that, so if you're branding your, thanks, Courtney. It is pretty incredible, yeah. If you're building your presence online, so let's say you have self-branded and you've set up a Facebook page, and you're self-branding yourself. It's not your company, it's you. These are the things that I teach because people go into business with you. They actually don't go into business with the product or the company of the product. They actually go into business with you. So this is the whole purpose of branding online, and you can build yourself an amazing profile, an amazing business, and you start attracting people to you. So this is what it's all about. But it's still, when you build your business the traditional way, you don't walk up to strangers and talk about your product or your company straight off the bat. So don't do it on social media either. So when you build a fan page, yes, Courtney, people join you as an individual. It's you first. You are your business's biggest asset, without a doubt. It's not your products, it's not your company, it's not your comp plan, it's not the owners of the company, all those things that you think are awesome about your company. That's not number one. You are number one. And that's why we brand ourselves online and attract people to us. When people are attracted to you, they'll go into business with you. So while you're doing that, so I work with a lot of people, and I've got a live Q&A session, coming up in a couple of hours with the people in my private group that are serious about, doing this and setting it up the right way, and I'm sort of teaching them how to do that. When they're first starting out, I would advise, if you want to, still go and do some prospecting methods while you're building your profile online, because it's not necessarily quick. If you're looking for a quick fix, this isn't it. Well, actually, network marketing isn't it. MLM isn't it. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They come into the industry, they've got high expectations that they're going to earn a lot of money really quickly. It doesn't happen in 3 weeks. Oh, shock, horror. And so they say this doesn't work and they leave the industry. Like any business, any traditional business, you don't open the doors of a business and 3 weeks or even 3 months or 6 months later, sometimes even 12 months, you don't close the doors. You keep those doors open and you work out what's working, what's not, what can I do differently, how do I grow my customer base, how do I grow my clients. It's no different online. So while you're building a profile online, which is what you want to do, because this is all about you, remember, you can still do some traditional prospecting. So let's go back to that, what I said before about what are your passions, what does your company represent, and who are some high profile people that represent, those. So then, how do we use Facebook and start using some free strategies? So put 20 or 30 minutes aside and start looking for people in those areas. So what was one of your passions? Your passion might be, I don't know, horse riding. I don't know. So go to Facebook and put in horse riding in the search bar. Go to the groups tab. Better if you can do this on a desktop. Go to the groups tab. Find some groups that talk about horse riding and go and start getting yourself in those groups. Now if you are into horse riding, you have a common interest with people. So just interact in there, comment on what somebody said about horse riding or a query or whatever, and be helpful and friendly and beneficial. If you go online with selling in mind, you will blow this. So you need to go online, whether you do the way sort of I teach with finding targeted leads and branding yourself and attracting people to you, or you're going to do more traditional methods with going and finding those people and building relationships. There's nothing wrong with doing both. One of the things I do see, the mistakes when people try to automate going online and finding pre-qualified leads, and they stop all activity here. So you don't necessarily want to do that either. You still want to be active in your business while you're building over here until you get big enough that you don't need to do this anymore. So just something to think about if you're starting, from scratch. But you can go into these groups and make some friends. So don't go in with selling in mind. Don't jump on somebody. I spoke about this last week. One of the major mistakes that I see people do is somebody shows an inkling of interest when you start a conversation and bam, you've pounced on them. So would you like to look at some company links, and here's some information, and I can send you this and you can send that, and you can go to this website, and here's a video, and etc., etc. They pounce too quickly. So go in this in mind of building new relationships, making some friends, going out to the cold market and building some relationships with people. So please don't go into this with selling in mind. Does this make sense? If this is making sense, send me some likes or loves, or just put the number 2 down below that yes, this is making sense. So I know that you're understanding what I'm saying. So then start building, like commenting in there. So it might be, that's an awesome horse. What I don't know much about horses, sorry. I don't know. Ask a question about horses. This is really embarrassing if you're into horses, because I know nothing about horses. Just ask a question about the horse. How old is it, or whatever you would ask about a horse. Completely clueless to horses, clearly. And just ask some questions and start and showing somebody that you are interested. When you ask questions of somebody and they think you're interested, then they know you care. In life, how do you manage all of these new relationships, Kathy? That comes down to, your daily method of operation. So don't go all overboard. So the trick with this is just doing it systematically and consistently. So if you go into Facebook one day and, you don't want to go and friend request or, get into 50 groups in one day. You just want to set a small daily method of operation, stick to it and follow up with people so it's manageable. And I've said this on a Facebook Live last week, consistency is key. Small things done consistently will always win. Those people that hang in there and are consistent, you will come out on top. Those people that are like, okay, this is a good strategy. Helen's told me to do this, this, and this. I'm going to go into all these Facebook groups. I'm going to friend request people, etc. And you start a million conversations. Then you're totally overwhelmed. You don't know who's who. You've got 15 conversations on the go at once, and you've totally overwhelmed yourself. That completely defeats the purpose of what I'm talking about here. So how you manage it, Kathy, is having a small daily method of operation. So only reach out to, 5 people a day, 2 people a day. What is manageable for you? Just put aside 30 minutes a day and reach out to 1 new person a day. So it's manageable for you. And have some kind of, book or some kind of system about who it is and what the follow-up is. And you might have a little note, or you've got a diary or an electronic calendar or something, follow up with, Kathy in 2 days' time. So you get very systematic about it, but it's consistency. So don't do too much at once and have too many conversations going on at once, because this won't work. And you'll end up losing people that could possibly have been a really good prospect for you. So you go into these groups, you make some friends, and start building a relationship. When you learn to know what good quality questions to ask, it will lead to that little golden piece of information for you that then you can say, I've got something that might help you with that. Would you be open to having a look at some information? Great, thanks, Kathy. Thanks for your feedback that you got that. So you ask the right questions to get the answer that you're looking for to establish a need. Okay, when you establish a need in somebody, then you can go in there and say something like, I might have something that can help you with that. Are you open to looking at some information? That's it. You ask for their permission. You don't pounce on people when somebody, says something. You ask permission to send them more. Generally, when you get into a conversation with somebody that leads to, so what do you do for a living? If this person that's into horses, they might be, oh, it looks like you ride a lot. What do you do for a living to have time to do that? Get very cluey into what questions need to lead to the answer that you're looking for. Does that make sense? Send me some likes and loves if that makes sense. So this is not about talking to somebody for 3 months and 6 months or how's your family? How's your kids go? What did you get up to on the weekend? You are wasting your time. So you don't want to take too long to get to the point. This is what I mentioned on a Facebook Live last week. One of the mistakes people make on social